listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast by Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb, Dr. Frederick J. Long, Dr. Mario Melendez, Dr. Jennifer Noonan, and J.M. Smith. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Proof Text. I'm Michael Halcomb, and I am here with J.M. Smith. J.M., how's it?
How's it? Yeah, I learned my native Hawaiian a few episodes ago. Yeah, man, everything's good on this end. Everything's good. Glad to be back here with you.
Yeah. So you just finished up a singles retreat, if I'm not mistaken. You had a name for it, but you were teaching through Ecclesiastes. Was it the adults table? That's what it is.
The grown-ups table.
Grown-ups
table. Yeah, that's our Facebook. Started as a Facebook group for single adults all over the country, actually all over the world. And we have about 1,400 members now, just kind of all over. But we did our first summer beach retreat. So we went down to St. Simon's Island, Georgia, which is where John Wesley used to actually minister when he was in Georgia. So we stayed at the Epworth by the Sea Retreat Center there and did morning and evening Bible studies that I led, taught through the whole book of Ecclesiastes. And then during the day, we just hang out on the beach. Went to people got to see the island. They got to see some of the low country. I'm from Savannah, which is like an hour north of there. So I spent my summers growing up there, going to church camps and youth camps and stuff. So it was cool having like 50 single adults, probably ages like late 20s all the way up to 50s or 60s, just hang out for the weekend and make new friends and study a really difficult book of the Bible to teach through. But it was awesome. It could not have gone better. So yeah, I'm tired, but I'm very happy with how it went.
Excellent, man. I'm glad to hear that. You've been really successful at launching some of these social media like groups like this, and doing a good job of maintaining that. So
it's all the Lord, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to meet a need to minister to my demographic, I being a single adult, just trying to fill in gaps that churches don't always do the best job at recognizing or aren't able to address. So we're just trying to help however we can. But yeah, it was amazing. So if anybody's watching this, if you're not married and you're a grown up and you love Jesus, pop over to facebook.com/group/grownups table, all one word. Yeah. And we will welcome you with open arms.
Man, we should have you write a book, like a theology of singleness or something with Glossa House, dude. Yeah.
Man, I don't know what I would have to contribute except not how much I don't love being in the demographic. Someone who does not have Paul's gift of lifelong singleness, hopefully, but you bloom where you're planted. So,
well, that's interesting that you say lifelong singleness. You put that adjective before, in front of that, because the reality, right, of singleness is that we're all born single, like every single one of us. And so, at least for a long swath of our life, most of us are going to be single for a long time. So there's something to be said for that, and I think having some theological pointers would really be a good thing. Anyways, I'm floating the idea, so you think about that, and
let's kick it around some more, maybe.
The offer's on the table. Yeah. So, this is 10 questions, and what we do here is we just look at a verse, usually a kind of a popular verse, maybe not always going to be a popular verse, and we just ask 10 questions about it. I get 5, JM gets 5, and we don't really give answers. We just ask questions, and the idea is to model what it looks like to come, like the first step of coming to the scripture as an interpreter, someone handling scripture, just observing and asking questions. So, JM doesn't usually know what verses I'm going to throw his way. And
Nope.
He doesn't know now, so he's about to find out. If you're watching, it's going to be up here on the screen. If you're just listening, that's fine too. It's Proverbs 3:5 this week. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." I don't think we've done this one before. Have we? I don't. I
Yep.
got a running list and I didn't have it in the list, but this is another one of those like things you often hear at graduation parties or see printed on graduation gifts where people are unsure what lies ahead, and trust the Lord and lean not on your own understanding, or wedding stuff or whatever. It's kind of a popular thing to print. So we get to ask 10 questions about this. I have the English up here. This is the NIV, and I also have the Hebrew. And so we can ask questions from either the English or the Hebrew. So, Jam, do you want to lead with the first question, or you want me to?
Um, yeah, I'll start it off. I'll kick it off
All
this
right.
time. My question would be, where in which section of Proverbs is this verse found in? Because Proverbs is kind of divided. It weaves in and out, and it seems kind of random in a big part of it, but the first part of it is kind of this long, father's guidance to his son, and the whole thing about wisdom and everything. So I would want to know which part of the book. Where are we in the book when we're getting this
Hmm.
advice? That's always my question in any proverb.
Where are we in the book when we're getting this advice? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, this would make a big difference, I guess, if it's a father to a son versus like a boss to a worker. Like the context is, or a king to like his successor. Like it really can take on a, I guess. Yeah, that's a great question. So where are we at? Who's saying this, and to whom is it being said? Yeah, great. So um, I guess my first question would be, um, what what is conveyed by the idea of trust? Is trust really the best English translation that we can do, or are there better terms? So, is it the best we can do with trust, and what is conveyed by that in the Hebrew?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Question number two for me would be the two. What's the two words that are being compared? Heart and understanding. Those are the two.
Hmm.
And do those mean the same thing in the Hebrew Bible as those English words do? Is heart talking about just your emotional, your warm fuzzies, or, whereas understanding is talking about your mind? Or is heart have another meaning, a deeper meaning in Hebrew, or not deeper, a fuller meaning in Hebrew?
Ooh, that's good. Here's my second question's related to heart. Is it actually possible to trust in the Lord with all your heart? Like, is that even achievable? Can any one of us actually in real life do that? Or are we like, is the sort of default like we're confined to a part of our heart or a portion of our heart? Can we really trust the Lord with all our heart?
Hmm. My third question would be about the last word in this verse, the verb, tishain, tishain, sha'an. What does sha'an mean? To lean on. What is,
Mm-hmm.
does that, is this a metaphor, or like an image of leaning like on a crutch? Or does
Mm.
it mean to not regard your own understanding, just check your brain at the door? What is he saying by leaning on and telling you not to lean on your understanding?
Well, that's connected to my third question. Does this suggest that we're not allowed to use our understanding at all? Is it like a completely pure contrast? Like, if you're trusting in the Lord with all your heart, like boom, your understanding is out of the equation? Or is there a place for our understanding in addition to trusting in the Lord with all our hearts?
Mm-hmm. My question 4, I guess, would be
Yep.
sticking on this lean not on your own understanding. Why did the Septuagint translate understanding with the word Sophia, with wisdom? Does that, given how important wisdom is in Proverbs, it's odd telling somebody not to lean on wisdom. So what is the difference between wisdom and your wisdom, if that's what the Hebrew conveys and the Septuagint translators were right?
Whew. My fourth question. So it says, lean not on your own understanding. Are we then allowed to lean on the understanding of others?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we glean from their wisdom and insight and understanding?
Mm-hmm.
Final question. What do you got here for us? You see anything else in there?
Well, it would be in the next verse, because this is a 2-verse proverb. So it would be in 6, and kind of giving the answer to this would be, I'm just looking at the Hebrew, in all your ways, or in all your paths, da'ehu, know him. Acknowledge is, I guess, how NIV or some of the others are translating, but know him, and he will direct your path. Yeah. So it's using road, and then it's using path in the sort. But know him? What does that mean, to know him, and how does that contrast with leaning on your own? Can you know God and not use your own wisdom or your own understanding, or are those always antithetical?
Yeah. That ties into what I was going to ask a little bit in my last question. So maybe there's some overlap here. This idea of the connection between the heart and mind, whereas we tend to bifurcate those two things in our society. Are they really as differentiated in ancient culture as they are for us? Or I guess another way to ask it, or put it, is whereas we say, like, my heart's telling me to do this, my mind's telling me to do this, would the writer of this proverb ever have been able to think that way? Or were the heart and mind one and the same, essentially?
Hmm.
Yeah, so a cultural issue there. Well, super interesting. Yeah, the language choices, the imagery, and good questions, JM.
Yeah, man.
For everybody out there, thank you for watching. We hope this has piqued your interest and has modeled for you a way to jump into Scripture and a way to approach Scripture and think about it and to interrogate it. Ask questions of it. God's not afraid of your questions. Scripture isn't afraid of your questions. In fact, God welcomes all those questions. And so, yeah, JM, thanks for the insights. And to everyone watching. Thank you for watching. Head over to Facebook and check out the Grown-Ups Table. Head over to Disciple Dojo and check that out. And go to J.M's Disciple Dojo YouTube page and follow there. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.